Ooh, ooh, Kon-Juwun, flavor's fruitiest, juiciest, and vtuberest manboy femtuber, Juwun Sugar Bloom, at your service, and I am sick. No, I'm literally sick. I don't know if you can hear it in the sound of my voice, but I have contracted a magical type of illness, and my voice has been like really low for a little bit, low and hoarse. Now, I've already got a pretty deep voice, if you were to ask me, but it was even deeper and hoarser. But it seems like it's getting better, so we will power through this together. But I am sick of I am sick of fighting wrestling, if you will, the YouTube copyright system. So last week's episode, unfortunately, has been copyrighted pretty bad. So tonight, instead of using video clips, I will be using pictures instead. Hopefully that won't really activate the copyright detection system. I tried using stop motion last time, but even that wouldn't go through. So we're gonna try to do that, and hopefully that works. So let's go. But Juwun, I hear you saying, aren't you a little early for this week's episode of Raw? And to that, I tell you, you're wrong. I am actually late for last week's episode of Raw. Something you have to get used to. I am one of those content creators that doesn't really pump out content that quickly. But who knows, maybe this week I will be able to do a review of this week's episode of Raw faster than last week. But this is last week's Femboy Raw review. Now, I've always found it a little awkward whenever the superstars are walking into the arena and you have the camera following them. They look a little awkward. Should I look at the camera? Shouldn't I? I don't know. But this week, it's a little different. Instead of it looking, it's still awkward, but there's a sense of brokenness in the superstars as they walk into the stage, followed by the camera. First, we have Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, the Terror Twins. They look broken. They just look sad. I don't even think Rhea Ripley has makeup on. I don't think. But they just look like very sad individuals, which is sad because they keep on getting beaten up. But that is last week's news. Let's see how they make up for it in this episode. However, there is one more person that looks even more broken, and that brings joy to my dark, cold heart. And that person is CM Punk. So he walks on the stage. This is his segment. This is his promo. He looks like a very broken person. Very sad. There's eye bags under his eyes. And he's just like not happy. Story-wise, I believe he's supposed to be coming out of the hospital in kayfabe or whatever. But he just looks broken. And like I said, that makes me happy. I know. I am a mark. I am the reason why they make storylines like this. But CM Punk is sad. He's walking onto stage and he's wearing the Bret Hart, wearing a Bret Hart sweater. Bro, you're like a week late. You missed Bret Hart by like 1 week. But guess what? I am also late, so who am I to talk? So he walks off the stage all broken like, and then he starts his spiel about how he came here. He didn't come here to make friends. And I think that implies he came here to make money. And that's pretty scummy of him. People are still cheering for him, by the way. He came here to make money, and if you remember, he's done this before in the UFC for a quick buck. He got himself beat up for the ka-ching. So I don't know why the people like him. He's a disgusting human being. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, CM Punk is a disgusting human being. Hello, CM Punk. He's saying he's not here to make friends. but he wasn't here to make mortal enemies, and he ended up making a mortal enemy in Drew McIntyre. And so he is pretty much saying, like, Drew McIntyre, you should have finished the job. So in Hell in a Cell, you are going to have to kill me. Last week, I said I was a little worried about Drew McIntyre losing to CM Punk. Now, I do feel like story-wise, since the people like CM Punk, they might make CM Punk win this one. But CM Punk is a very fragile man, and you can see it like in his demeanor. He's a very fragile person. So, win or lose, he will get broken in that ring. That is my prediction. Win or lose, CM Punk is gonna get broken in that ring, and that will make me happy. I know, I am a bad person. I will be the first person to admit that to you. But something that I find really weird, I've always said, right, the crowd keeps on cheering for CM Punk. CM Punk's not a good person, but the crowd, now Drew McIntyre mentioned this before, the crowd is enabling CM Punk. So, when CM Punk is making a spiel like, my sister said I shouldn't do this, my wife says I shouldn't do this, I don't have any more Hell in a Cell match left in me, and the crowd boos, boo. But he says, I am going to fight in Hell in a Cell, and the people cheer, yay, yay, CM Punk is gonna go to Hell in a Cell match, yay, CM Punk is gonna get broken. So, what is with this crowd? I don't get it. Do you want CM Punk to get broken? Like I said, the crowd is enabling CM Punk. So maybe the crowd's on my side. Maybe the crowd is just doing that because they want CM Punk to get broken. But whatever. Another thing, he does say something like, if you want to win this or something like that, or he says something within the lines of prepare for the end of CM Punk or Drew McIntyre. Now, is this like retirement bait? Is he hinting his retirement? I don't know. He says he doesn't have any more Hell in a Cell match left in him. So, I don't know. Retirement bait is probably interesting material to get the presses rolling or whatever. But whatever. You'll hear me say whatever a lot. But that's okay. I actually like this promo. Believe it or not, it is a CM Punk promo, but whatever. I like it. So, if you remember our rating system, we're going the 10 banana rating system. 1 being the least, 10 being the most, and we will also rate the segments. So I'm pretty happy with the segment. CM Punk, broken guy, 8 out of 10. Whether or not he wins or loses, I'm pretty sure he'll get broken. 8 out of 10. Now, for the next part, we have the Pete Dunne versus Sheamus fight. I really do feel bad for Mr. Dunne. He's obviously a jobber. He looks like he's a jobber. He keeps on losing, even in NXT. Even the announcers, they kind of make it, especially Wade Barrett. He says, like, prior to joining the main roster in the Indies, he kept on winning gold, but here in the main roster in the WWE, he has yet to win anything. So that's how they introduce him into the match. And the crowd's booing him. Not a very good look for Mr. Dunne. Now the match, I don't remember much of the match, unfortunately. You had Mr. Sheamus at the start going in for the 10 beats of the Bodhrán, and Mr. Dunne reverses it almost immediately and starts breaking Sheamus' hand. And they fight here, they fight there. They fight everywhere, they brawl. At one point, Mr. Sheamus had Pete Dunne in the top rope, and he power slammed him from the top rope. That was pretty cool to watch. Now, at some point, Mr. Sheamus, when he was walking in, he came in with a walking stick. I can't remember what they called it. I'll just call it a walking stick. He came in with a walking stick for some reason, and the walking stick was in his corner. At one point, Pete Dunne had rolled off ring, or at ringside, to Sheamus's corner, and he grabs a hold of his walking stick. So he picks it up and menacingly threatens Sheamus with it. But Sheamus is able to grab it from him, and I guess he gives it to the ref. I can't remember. He gives it to the ref, and the ref takes it off stage. Now, while he is taking this walking stick off stage, he has his back turned. So Pete Dunne quickly goes under the stage, pulls out a cricket bat, and slams Sheamus with the cricket bat and throws it away. He's able to get the pin on Sheamus. 1, 2, 3, and wow, lo and behold, Pete Dunne has his first win. Good for him, good for him. Now, since this match was, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad by any measure. Pete Dunne, I didn't know much about Pete Dunne, but the more I see Pete Dunne, I do find him more interesting. He's got a very curious fighting style. He's a smaller dude, but what he does is that he breaks people's body parts. So he picks apart, usually the fingers, and this man bites people too. Yeah, so he's just like me. He's just like me. He bites people. I'm starting to like Mr. Pete Dunne. I don't know. He also has this funny thing where he just shrugs. So the crowd is booing him because he won by cheating. Crowd is booing him and he just shrugs. And I find that pretty funny. So because of your shrugging, Mr. Dunne, I will give your match a 7 out of 10. That's a good score. That's a good score. Okay, after this, we go backstage, and we have a segment with the Terror Twins, and they're Xavier Woods from the New Day approaches them and tells them, yo, I'm going to have a match later for the New Day is going to have a match later against the Judgment Day for the Tag Team Championships, and we would like it if you do not interfere. I know you have a deal with the Judgment Day, but we want to win this on our own, so no interference. Thank you. And the Judgment says, oh sure, but please beat them up for us. Okay, we will do that. Now, I do like Xavier Woods. I've said before I like heels, and it does look in previous episodes he is turning that direction. Anyway, he's not a heel right now. He's a babyface, and even as a babyface, I enjoy watching this dude. He's very entertaining. Jey Uso, I think Jey Uso comes in this segment because Jey Uso is going in next, or for his promo or something. So Jey Uso, it's Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley yeets Jey Uso, and I can't help but find this awkward. I've mentioned this in last episode, but it feels like the Jey Uso Rhea Ripley deal. It feels very forced. I kind of don't like it. I'm 100% sure Rhea Ripley is at least 10 years his junior. I mean, Rhea Ripley is 10 years younger than Damian Priest, right? I'm gonna have to look this up. So, I just looked it up, and it looks like Rhea Ripley is 14 years younger than Jey Uso and Damian Priest. No comment, but it doesn't feel right. Even in kayfabe, like that's like a whole generation. It's more than that though. Something about it feels weird. Like, do both of these people not feel it? You know, Jey Uso is married in real life, but I know it's kayfabe. It's kayfabe. Jey Uso is married in real life. Rhea Ripley is married in real life too. So I wonder if their heart's not in it. It looks kind of off, especially when Rhea Ripley is doing her yeet. It looks awkward. Anyway, the scene quickly transitions into a segment with Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley, and they're yapping and yapping. Regular Judgment Day stuff. Finn Balor says, you know, Rhea Ripley, I was the one who tempted Dominic to cheat on you. I was the one who pressured, who pushed, who encouraged Dominic to cheat on you. And Rhea Ripley's very mad at Mr. Finn Balor. Then Jey Uso comes in again, and it is awkward. So Finn Balor tells Jey Uso that Rhea Ripley is out of his league, and it feels awkward, and Jey goes with it. And there's some kind of flirtatious behavior going on, and it is really awkward. And like I said earlier, every time Rhea Ripley does the yeet thing, it just looks weird. So all in all, this Terror Twins segment, yeah, it felt awkward. So we'll give it a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 bananas. Sorry, Terror Twins. Sorry, Jey Uso. I like you, but this is just awkward. Now, speaking of Jey Uso, right after that segment, he runs into stage and starts yeeting. Everyone is yeeting. Jey Uso's yeeting. The crowd is yeeting. Even Joe Tessitore, the new announcer guy, he starts yeeting too. And Wade Barrett, God bless him. I really enjoy Wade Barrett. He's a funny guy. I didn't know. I'm not familiar with his wrestling ability or whatever, but he's a funny announcer. He kind of plays like the heel-ish. He isn't exactly a heel. Kind of plays one at the announcer table, so it's funny. And he tells Joe, "You're a decent person. Stop yeeting. It's beneath you. It is unbecoming." Something like that, which is pretty funny. Now Jey Uso starts his promo telling that I really need this Intercontinental Championship. I can finally break free from my family and prove to the world that I don't need anyone. But then Braun Breaker comes in. Braun Breaker is the current holder of the Intercontinental Championship, and he comes in and he starts a back and forth. So the stuff Braun Breaker says, I actually feel it. So Braun Breaker, he basically tells Jey Uso, "You're an old guy," which kind of harkens back to what I said about Rhea Ripley, right? Jey Uso is kind of old. Now, I know I'm older. I'm a 200,000 weird tiger, manticore, vampire, phantasmal species, so I'm older. Who am I to speak? But at least relatively, in your human terms, Jey Uso is old compared to Ripley, and especially to Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker says, "You've been here, 14 years, and you have yet to win solo gold? I have only been here 6 months, and I am now Intercontinental Champion." And he starts ranting on and on and on. And then Jey Uso comes back at him. "I've been winning gold since you were in your diapers, boy." Jey Uso, former tag team champion, one of the most powerful tag teams in history. But he comes in and says, I've been winning gold since you were in your diapers," or something like that. And Braun Breaker says something like, I've never needed my family. You needed your bloodline to get up or to win or to cheat and whatever. But I didn't even use my family name. Braun Breaker, a famous son of Rex Steiner. Is it Rex Steiner? Correct me if I am wrong, but he is the son of one of the Steiner brothers. He said in the past that he didn't want to use his family name so he could win on his, or he could climb up the ladder on his own merit. So he's kind of flaunting this, which I find kind of weird because, yeah, sure, he's not exactly a copy of his dad and his brother or his uncle, since he doesn't exactly use their moveset, although he does use some of their moves. He does the Steiner line. He also does the Frankensteiner from the top rope. And also has a barking thing going on. Isn't the barking thing the Steiner brother deal? But again, that is the crowd. That is not him, so whatever. I do think he does have some name recognition because people know that he's the son of Snatch, but that is neither here nor there. Jey Uso then starts berating Braun Breaker for his failed NFL career. And that makes Braun Breaker mad. So he punches Jey Uso and starts running to the ropes for his rebound spear, like his world famous 30 mile per hour spear. So he goes for the rope, but just before he can spear Jey Uso spears him. Apparently that is the first time Braun Breaker has ever been speared, and the announcers announced that. And that is the end of the segment. Jey Uso's Yeeting and Braun Breaker is at ringside in pain. This was a good segment compared to the earlier one where it's really awkward air between Jey and Rhea Ripley. This one's a lot better. So I would give this one 7.5. 7.5. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of drama that connects. This is long scale, large scale storytelling because they're involving the Steiners and the bloodline and the whatever. But it was good. 7.5 is fair. Spank my butt if you disagree. It was a good one. Moving on, we go to the Day versus Day match. So this is the Judgment Day versus the New Day. I've mentioned before, and I might have mentioned it in this video as well, but I do like heels. I kind of like rooting for the bad guys. But in this case, I was rooting for the New Day. I kind of like the New Day, especially Xavier Woods. Now, a little foreboding or foreshadowing from earlier. From the previous segment, Xavier Woods asked the New Day or the Terror Twins not to interfere in their match with the Judgment Day. One thing I noticed in the intro and the entrance of these characters, something I realized, I've always been looking at the Judgment Day, in this case, JD and McDonagh and Finn Balor, and I was just, something just popped into my head all of a sudden. Maybe because I was watching a lot of Minecraft videos about the Minecraft movie, but it just popped into my mind. JD McDonagh's head is a very square head. This man has a very big head and it is very square. This man would make the perfect Steve, right? Even better than Jack Black. Because one, JD McDonagh is younger. I would perceive Steve to be younger-ish. And Steve is supposed to be jacked. Come on, this is the guy. This is the guy who can crush stones with his bare hands. Not just punching rock, but you know how to form andesite. You can create andesite by combining cobble and diorite. These are processes that occur in the Earth's crust. Diorite does turn into andesite under extreme heat and pressure. So for Steve to be able to do that at a crafting table, not even at a crafting table, in his inventory, for Steve to be able to do that, he has to be jacked, huge, super ripped. And JD McDonagh kind of feels that. So he looks strong, but his head is very square. Yeah, that is something I noticed. But enough of that. On to the match. So New Day has a very strong start here. They're pulling out their combo moves. They're doing such a good job. There's one part where it is JD McDonagh and Xavier Woods, and JD attempts to powerbomb Xavier Woods, but Xavier was able to reverse it, and he does a powerbomb on JD instead, and it looks very gorgeous. He has this sit-out. I've always loved the sit-out powerbomb, like the Batista bomb, Kevin's bomb, whatever his sit-out powerbomb. It was a sit-out powerbomb, and it looked very good. But JD McDonagh was able to kick out. So the New Day are doing really well. They're taking the lead here, and they're having a pretty good showing. When all of a sudden, as one would expect, the rest of the Judgment Day shows up. Following this, the LWO appears out of nowhere, seeing the Judgment Day storm in, and the announcers are even confused at first. I think Wade Barrett mentioned the Terror Twins are coming out or something like that. Anyway, it's actually the LWO. They start pouring in and they start fighting the Judgment Day. Kofi Kingston, who at this point was also at ringside, out of the ring, climbs up the top rope. He's not the one that's tagged currently. He's not the legal man, so he's outside the ring. He climbs up the turnbuckle, and then he dives into the New Day. Sorry, he dives into the Judgment Day and the LWO. Meanwhile, Xavier Woods is in the ring, and he is fighting JD McDonagh. And at the same time, too, he has JD McDonagh on the mat, and he climbs up the turnbuckle, and he goes for a diving elbow. And his diving elbow looks really good, and it connects. And he pins JD McDonagh. But the ref is not there. The ref is busy tending to Kofi. So Kofi's there outside the ring. He just dived on everyone. The ref, for some reason, decides to go there and check everyone out. So the crowd starts counting with Xavier Woods. 1, 2, 3, 4. He has JD pinned, and he would have won if the referee was on stage. And so the crowd is pretty angry. Xavier Woods is also very angry. So the crowd starts trending, "Ref, you suck. Ref, you suck." This ref is not really doing a good job. So when the ref comes back and the match resumes, and Xavier Woods is able to do a roll-up, I think, if I remember correctly. He's able to do a roll-up on JD, and he pins JD once again. But meanwhile, while all of this is going on, Finn Balor is climbing up the top rope, and the ref is watching Finn Balor instead of watching Xavier Woods. So again, the ref misses the count once more. So Xavier Woods is incredibly pissed. He's holding JD McDonagh. He's not watching Finn Balor. JD reverses. He does a roll-up on Xavier Woods, and then Finn Balor comes down from the top rope for a coup de grace, and he's able to pin Xavier Woods, and the ref is able to count him out. It feels so bad. I feel really bad for Xavier Woods. You can feel the emotion. He is very angry. He's shouting, "Why? Why?" You can feel the frustration coming out of him. And Kofi's trying to console him, but Xavier Woods, this keeps happening. This always happens, and then he just storms out. And this continues backstage. The camera follows Kofi. Kofi's looking for Xavier Woods, and Xavier Woods is arguing with the LWO. He's very angry. He's not happy. He says, "Because of you, we lost." And Kofi comes in and says, "No, it was me. I was the one who asked the LWO." And Xavier Woods is angry. Why did you ask them? Why did you ask them? And why did you plan this with them without letting me know? So he is justifiably not happy, and he storms out. I do believe this is like the beginning of the Xavier Woods heel arc, and I kind of like it. I feel bad for him, but I also like that this is probably gonna start a singles deal. He was King of the Ring. Was it last year? And they didn't treat him well that time, so he's obviously not happy. But hopefully he will get another chance here, another chance at the gold, whatever gold that will be. But yeah, good fight. Very it was it was a tag team match. Tag team matches are usually fun to watch because you've got like double the moves, double the action. So this is a good one. I would give it I would give it an 8. 8 out of 10. Lots of emotion, lots of storytelling, lots of fun moves. And there was definitely something to remember. This is a match I remember. 8 out of 10. After this, though, we got something very forgettable. We have some kind of segment with the Wyatt Sick6. I've mentioned this before. Not a big fan of the Wyatt Sick6. So you have like the ARG stuff going on, flashing on the screen, random words, random strings of words telling you something which doesn't really make sense, and then they flash a QR code at the end. I was watching this on my phone, and unfortunately, you can't take screenshots, so I couldn't screenshot the QR code. I'm too lazy. I was not really inspired to look into that QR code, so yeah. It does feel a little interesting, and ARG style stuff is interesting, but not interesting enough for me, unfortunately. And not a lot happened, so 3 out of 10. Sorry. Next, we have the Battle of the Monsters, the Brawns. We have Big Braun Breaker, Big Bronson Reed. Sorry. Lots of Brawns in the WWE. Big Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. And something which I can really remember is when a Big Bronson Reed makes his entrance. I can't remember which announcer. It was probably Joe. Joe calls him the globe-shaped intimidator. That is definitely a title. The globe-shaped intimidator. And then Braun Strowman comes, but then even before the bell rings, even before the match officially starts, Big Bronson Reed runs towards Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman dodges, and Big Bronson Reed ends up crashing into the turnbuckle. And as he crashes into the turnbuckle, he destroys the top rope. He pulls out the top rope. Mind you, the match has not yet started, and the top rope is already missing. And the announcers tell you that, the match hasn't started. We don't have a match yet. And the top rope is broken. So Mr. Bronson he gets knocked out. After crashing onto the turnbuckle, he falls up into the ringside. And then Braun Strowman, seeing this opportunity, goes for his freight train. He does a signal where he spins his fingers. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna run him over. And so that's what he does. He climbs down the ring and he charges up for his freight train. As he starts running, though, you won't believe this. Big Bronson Reed picks up an audience member and yeets the audience member at Braun Strowman. So Braun Strowman gets a face full of audience member. And Big Bronson Reed starts showboating. Yo, I just yeeted an audience member. Look at me, I'm so good. Braun Strowman, though, recovers. And he tackles. Or no, he doesn't tackle. He does a running crossbody. He does a running crossbody into Big Bronson Reed, into the barricade, and they destroy the barricade. So the match hasn't started yet. The ring is already missing its top rope. Someone from the crowd was yeeted by a wrestler at another wrestler. And the barricade is broken. And the match hasn't even started yet. So Braun Strowman and Mr. Bronson, or the globe-shaped intimidator, Mr. Globe-shaped intimidator, recovers first, if I remember correctly, and he starts walking out. This match hasn't started. It's not a real match. Forget you. I'm gonna walk out. He's done this before. So he's walking out. He's walking down the walkway, the crosswalk, whatever. And Braun Strowman recovers, and Braun Strowman is not gonna have this tomfoolery. So he runs up to Big Bronson Reed and tackles him once again. And this time, slamming big Bronson Reed into one of the big containers there. Mr. Globe-shaped Intimidator, not liking what's going on, continues to walk outside, and security this time is called. So security is now trying to stop Braun Strowman. At some point, Braun Strowman tackles Mr. Big Bronson Reed on top of what seems like I don't know if it's a dumpster. Something dumpster looking. So Mr. Big Bronson Reed got tackled into this dumpster thing, and he's laid out on top of the dumpster. And then the security gets hold of Braun Strowman, and they try to restrain Braun Strowman. So Braun Strowman is fighting off the security. He knocks off the security, and he's very pissed. He table flips. There's a golf cart sitting there for some reason. He table flips, or he turns this golf cart over, knocking the cameraman. Lots of property damage at this point. You have a golf cart down. You have an expensive camera down. An audience member got yeeted. And while Braun Strowman is doing all of this, Mr. Globe-shaped Intimidator, Bronson Reed, recovers. He's on top of, I don't think it's a dumpster. It might be another container of sorts, but he's on top of this container thingy, and is charging up for his tsunami. As basically it's just a dive basically, but he's like a meteor. So his dive causes a tsunami. But Braun Strowman's not paying attention, and Big Bronson Reed dives into Braun Strowman, hitting his finisher. He hits Braun Strowman with his finisher, and they're not even on the ring. Mr. Globe-shaped Intimidator's finisher is quite devastating. He's put out a lot of superstars with that finisher, and now he hits Braun Strowman with it, and they're not even in the ring. Is this concrete? I can't remember. So lots of damage. Everyone is broken. Big Bronson Reed once again showboats, not paying attention to Braun Strowman. He thinks that Braun Strowman is down just because you got your finisher on Braun Strowman. No, this is one big SOB. This is the monster of all monsters. He recovers from the tsunami, and he once again charges at Mr. Globe-shaped Intimidator, and he tackles Mr. Globe-shaped Intimidator through the wall. So they're both laid out there, and in the debris, the announcers go through the stuff they've broken in the arena, and then the medical team is called. Now, I would have given this match a 9 out of 10. It was very action-packed, lots of stuff going on, and very memorable. I remember so much. It was a short match, not even a real match, and I remember a lot of what happened in this match. So that has to tell you something. This was definitely a fun match to watch. So I would have given it a 9. But the medical team, when they come in, they're doing a really bad job. They don't. If you guys are familiar, you know that I work in healthcare. So yeah, it took me out of it, seeing what they were doing. So I'll give it an 8.5. 8.5 is good. 8.5. That is so far the biggest score I've ever given a match. So yeah, 8.5 bananas out of 10. Very good. Would recommend. You need to see this. This is a must see. More like a street fight than a wrestling match, but whatever. It was fun to watch. So after that match, we got into Mr. what's his name? Adam Pearce, the GM of Raw, talking to, I don't know, medical or whatever about what just happened. And then Ludwig Kaiser cuts in and starts ranting. How dare you give Sami Zayn a chance to fight Gunther for the heavyweight championship? He's not worthy. Something like that. And then as he's doing this, Sami Zayn's music hits and Sami Zayn walks into the stage. So Sami Zayn is now making a spiel about how he deserved this, how he needs this. And to be honest with you, he feels very entitled. He says something within the lines, I need this. I deserve, I am the champion you need. And so he's telling the crowd, I am the champion you need to be defending the title week after week in front of all of you guys. And obviously the crowd loves him. They're cheering for him. But then Ludwig Kaiser comes in, and there's a stark difference between their intros. And Wade Barrett even mentions this. Sami Zayn, this is happening in Portland. He looks exactly like a Portlandian, like a West Coast lumberjack, wearing flannel, jeans, and looking like a hipster. So he's got that homeless chic. Homeless chic. That's a thing. That's a thing. Contrast that with Ludwig Kaiser, walking down the runway like a European model. What did Wade Barrett call it? I can't remember what he said. Like effortless Euro chic or something like that. I can't. But there's a big difference. Ludwig Kaiser looking like a model, strutting down the runway, versus Sami Zayn who looks like a homeless guy. And they start yapping. You don't deserve this. Gunther is the greatest heavyweight champion in the world or whatever, stuff like that. And then Sami Zayn, all out of nowhere, starts trying to get Ludwig on his side, saying that, something like, you need to speak up for yourself. You don't need to talk for Gunther. You're your own man. I'm pretty sure there's stuff that you wanna do. You can be a champion yourself, and these people believe in you. And it looks like it is getting into Ludwig. And Ludwig, he's got the face of a heel. He's got a very unlikable face. You know what I'm saying? He's got a very bad guy. He's got bad guy face. But he's so good at acting. While Sami Zayn is doing all of this, you can see like his facial expression changing. And it looks like he's holding back tears. It makes you think, what if he actually has, there's stuff that he wants to say to Gunther about some things. So all of a sudden, Gunther's music hits and he walks down into the stage. But before addressing Sami Zayn, he talks to Ludwig and he tells Ludwig, is there anything you want to get off your chest? Something like that. And Ludwig, you can see his facial expression change. He looks like a schoolboy though, in a principal's office. He looks guilty, but then his facial expression changes. He becomes angry, and he starts raising his voice. And yeah, there is something that I've wanted to tell for a very long time. And now you think he's gonna rant at Gunther, but instead he hits Sami Zayn with his is it a DDT? I think it's a DDT. He hits Sami Zayn with a DDT, and they start laughing at Sami Zayn. The crowd starts booing, and Gunther exits the stage. He prompts Ludwig to exit with him, but Ludwig is having fun laughing at Sami or whatever. And as he starts to walk away, Sami Zayn grabs Ludwig's leg, and Ludwig is laughing at Sami Zayn, brings him up. And he's about to hit Sami Zayn with another DDT or something like that. I don't know what his moveset is called. I'm sorry. But Sami Zayn is able to counter. I can't remember. I think Sami Zayn punches him and he's sent into the corner. And then Sami Zayn runs to the other side and he does his hell of a kick. His hell of a kick connects and Ludwig is sent crashing into the floor. Now, I'm thinking moving forward, what if they're planning to set up a match between Ludwig and Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn tends to break up a lot of teams for some reason, right? When Sami Zayn was in the Bloodline, he broke up the Bloodline. When Sami Zayn traded with Chad Gable and the Alpha Academy, Sami Zayn broke up the Alpha Academy. So now, is Sami Zayn gonna break up Gunther and Ludwig? What remains of Imperium? I don't know if Imperium's still a thing, but Ludwig and Gunther are still a thing. Is he planning to break them up too? I do feel like Sami Zayn and Ludwig are gonna get a match in the future. So I like the setup. Sami Zayn has to go through Ludwig before going to Gunther. Now, they can switch this up. So what if Ludwig wins, but then Ludwig decides, you know, maybe I can actually do this. I don't know. Is Sami Zayn gonna break them up? I don't know. But it's interesting. It is very interesting, and I like it. So I'm giving this segment, you know, I'm not a big fan of Sami. Sami Zayn is the homewrecker of Raw, but whatever. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. No, wait, let's give it a 7.5. 7.5. Lots of potential with this one. Now, for the next match, we have Iyo Sky versus Bianca Belair. Kairi Sane was supposed to... Kairi Sane? How do you pronounce her last name? I have to look her up. Kairi Sane, yeah. We were just talking about Sami Zayn, so I'm a little confused here. But Kairi Sane was supposed to fight against Bianca Belair, or at least she was scheduled. But in a previous segment, Iyo Sky, while Bianca and Jade Cargill are doing their thing backstage, Iyo Sky comes running at both of them, shouting, "Bianca, you coward!" in a very, very hard, rough Japanese accent, screaming. And she starts berating Bianca Belair. You're challenging Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn. Kairi, you're challenging Kairi. What did I say about Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn is living rent-free in my head right now. Kairi Sane is injured. She injured her eye on a previous episode of Raw. So she's calling Bianca a coward. Why did you go for this match? And then Bianca says, I didn't know. I was just scheduled, and whoever I'm scheduled to fight, I will fight because I love fighting. So she says to Iyo Sky, why not you and I fight? Instead of Kairi, why don't you fight? And then Iyo Sky says in the hardest accent, Japanese, I accept. So this is their fight, Iyo Sky versus Bianca Belair. Iyo Sky is, if I remember correctly, I haven't seen, again, I am not into women's wrestling, but I like Bianca Belair. She's very powerful. And Iyo Sky, if I remember correctly, she's a high flyer. I don't really like high flying stuff because sometimes, you know, long time ago, I saw a match between Ricochet and what's his face, European guy, currently in AEW, Will Ospreay. I saw a match between Will Ospreay and Ricochet, and both of these people are high flyers, very athletic. I saw this match, and you know, I was not really into it. I remember before, Shawn Michaels, one of my favorite wrestlers, he's a very technical wrestler, very athletic, kind of high flying too. Something he said before really stuck with me, like, you shouldn't do too much, because when you're doing too much, not exact words, but it becomes less believable. So that match between Ricochet and Will Ospreay really stuck out to me. Like, this looks more like something you'd see at the circus. Now, wrestling is a circus, but I came to watch people fight. I didn't come here to watch acrobatics. So not a big fan about high-flying stuff, but when high-flying is matched with a powerhouse, it becomes very interesting, like this match. The match starts out, they look very even. There's a lot of reversals. Very technical match, actually. It's a very technical match from the beginning. And they are very even. They keep on reversing each other's moves. Eventually, both of them decide to do a drop kick. And they execute it in such a way that it doesn't look planned. The whole thing didn't look planned. So they both do a drop kick, they miss each other, and then they're both happy. They both look like they're enjoying the fight. You know, Bianca Belair is spanking her butt, teasing Iyo Sky, and Iyo Sky is pointing at her, laughing. They're both doing cartwheels, they're both doing kip-ups. Speaking of cartwheels and kip-ups, Bianca Belair at some point does a spine buster on Iyo Sky, setting her up for her signature move. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like a cartwheel, rebound, moonsault type of deal. So she does that, and it connects, and she hits Iyo Sky, pinning her. But Iyo Sky is able to kick out. She's able to kick out. So in response to this, Bianca Belair takes her to the corner. She's putting her up It looks like she's planning a gorilla press of some sorts. So she picks her up, and Iyo Sky is able to counter this. She's able to slip out of the gorilla press and push her into the ropes, using the momentum to perform a German suplex, which is very impressive. So she does a German suplex and pins Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is able to kick out, and she's sent to ringside. Iyo Sky decides to follow her with a suicide dive and hits her, both of them landing close to the announcer table. So a lot of carnage is going on right now. After this, Iyo Sky, she takes Bianca Belair to the steel steps. It looks like she's planning to do some kind of suplex, but Bianca Belair recovers and she's able to reverse this into a vertical suplex of her own. So Bianca Belair carries her up on this vertical suplex, holds her up in the vertical position, and walks up the steps, which is very impressive again, and then tosses Iyo Sky into the ring. It shows how strong Bianca is, but impressive it may be. It was kind of like a downside to her because she ends up very winded. So she takes a while to take a break, catch her breath, after which she climbs up the turnbuckle to the top rope. It looks like she's planning to do a splash. So she does her 450 splash, but Iyo Sky is able to recover during this time and knees Bianca Belair. So Bianca is down. Iyo Sky walks on top of her. She's gonna perform her moonsault, her signature finisher moonsault. Climbs up on the top rope this time. This time it's Iyo Sky, but takes the time to flex on the crowd. While she's doing her flexing or her taunting, Bianca recovers and picks her up for her finisher, the KOD. However, lots of reversals in this match again. Iyo Sky is able to reverse this, slip out of the KOD, and do a small package pin of her own, pinning Bianca. So Iyo wins this match, which is a surprise to everyone because apparently Bianca hasn't lost in a very, very long time. So she gets beaten fair and square, 1-on-1 against Iyo Sky. And I have to admit, this is a very entertaining match. It was fun to watch. Lots of reversals, very technical, but you can see a lot of strength. Like that vertical suplex. Excuse me, I'm sorry. My throat hurts, my nose hurts. I'm in pain, but I'm having fun, and this match was fun, and I will give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Now for the final match for the main event, we have Damian Priest versus Dominik Mysterio. I've spoken about this before, but there's something about Damian Priest that, I don't know. I feel like he lacks something, for the lack of a better word. He does look like a big guy. He looks very intimidating, but I don't know what it is. Is it his costume? It could be his costume. He kind of looks like The Undertaker. I can't remember who's called him that, like bisexual taker, or is it bondage taker? I know Drew McIntyre called him something once. Is it one of those? I can't remember, but it's very funny. Maybe that's what did it for me. Maybe that's what did it. I can't see him in a different light, but he's a very intimidating guy apparently, and he scares everyone off the stage. The match is, to be honest with you, kind of forgettable. It is mostly a squash, which is really believable. I mean, Dominik Mysterio versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest has the weight advantage, the height advantage, everything. Plus the crowd really hates Dom. So the match is pretty much a squash. Damian Priest pretty much throws Dominik Mysterio around, goes for a pin several times, but Dominik kicks out, and Rhea Ripley's you can hear in the corner, more time to brutalize. Yeah, Dominik kicking out just gives Damian Priest more time to mess him up. So far in this match, Judgment Day hasn't really been doing their diversion tactic or whatever, But then Damian Priest sets up the Razor's Edge, picks Dominic up. He's gonna hit him with the Razor's Edge, but then Finn Balor starts distracting Damian Priest, and Dominic is able to escape. The fight then goes ringside, and Damian Priest is actually handling everyone. For some reason, I don't get what happens. I think Carlito gets a little too close, so Damian Priest punches him in the face, and a fight breaks out. But Damian Priest gets the upper hand in that confrontation. Everyone's in the mat or on the floor. Dominic gets back in the ring. Damian Priest goes for the broken arrow, goes to pin Dom, but then Liv Morgan comes in, brings his foot to the rope so the ref doesn't count to 3, which makes you wonder, how incompetent is this ref? I don't know if it's the same ref. It might be a different ref. I can't remember. I don't really pay attention to who the ref is. But how did the ref not see that? I mean, is it okay? Is it okay to pick a wrestler's foot and put it on the rope? The ref obviously saw it because he saw the foot on the rope. How else did he stop the count? So whatever, just something there. After that, more shenanigans, more Judgment Day shenanigans happen, and so Dominic somehow is able to get his 619 in. He gets his 619 in, and he's going to do his frog splash or something. But Priest catches him, goes for the South of Heaven, chokeslams him, and then pins him. 1, 2, 3. He wins. Immediately though, after the bell rings, Judgment Day comes in. They were not able to help Dominic escape the pin, so they come in and start beating Priest up again. Rhea Ripley comes in. Liv Morgan, she starts battling with Liv Morgan. When is Jey Uso coming out? You know he's coming out. The question is not if, it's when. And then his music hits. He comes in. He's staring at, looking everyone down. I guess everyone is looking at him. The camera doesn't show a wide angle, but that's because Braun Breaker comes out of nowhere, and while Jey Uso is surveying the scene, Braun Breaker comes out of nowhere and spears Jey Uso, taking him out of the equation. So Judgment Day has their way with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley once again. So this episode ends the way it started. Kind of funny how that works. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley entering the stage looking so broken to getting actually broken by the Judgment Day at the end of the episode. So for this match, I would say it is kind of forgettable. The story is starting to wear on me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Unless something happens to spark this, I don't know. The Jey Uso thing is really the Jey Uso thing's really bothering me at this point. So, math 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. But overall, I think this episode was better than the last one. We had a lot more action, lots more memorable stuff, that's for sure. So I would give this episode an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 bananas. That is more than by this time the other week's episode. But that is it. That is it for Femboy Raw review. And I hope you guys enjoy this. I actually enjoyed making this video for you. Unfortunately, I was not able to stream during this week. I was really busy, and then all of this happened. I got some kind of magical throat disease, magical throat infection, magical upper respiratory tract infection. No, not infection, curse. It's a curse, that's what it is. Because I'm a magical being. Normal human illnesses don't affect me, so it's a magical curse. But fortunately, this curse is wearing off. I do feel like I'm getting better. I'm hoping that the next installation of Femboy Raw review will come out on time. Hopefully the day after Raw. But so far, that is it for this week's Femboy Raw review. Thank you everyone for watching with me. I I will see you next time. Hopefully I can stream this week, but stay tuned for that. But that is it. 𝒹�12, 𝒹�12, McDonagh.